students. Today we are going to discuss about the factors that affecting the transpiration. Factors that affecting the rate of transpiration. Rate of transpiration. Okay. The transpiration, we know that the transpiration means the loss of water in the form of vapor through the living tissues or through the leaves. Okay, that is known as the transpiration. So there are the different different factors which are categorized into two categories. That are the external factors first, and the second, that are the internal factors. Okay, the external factors and the internal factors. So in the external factors there are the number of the factors, that are the temperature, then light, humidity, atmospheric pressure, then water content of the soil, water content of soil, then wind or air currents. So these are the different external factors which affects on the rate of transpiration. As well as there are the number of internal factors like the size of leaves, then coating of cuticle, wax, cutin, the coating of cuticle, wax, cutin, or the presence of the trichomes. Okay. Then next, the number and size of stomata per unit area. The number and the size of stomata per unit area. Then water content of the mesophyll cells. Water content of mesophyll cells and the root shoot ratio. Okay, so these are the different factors which directly or indirectly affects on the rate of the transpiration. So these factors, they are broadly categorized into the two categories: external factors and the internal factors. The external factors, they are the temperature, light, humidity or atmospheric humidity, atmospheric pressure, water content of the soil, and wind. Okay, and the internal factors: size of the leaves, coating of the cuticle, wax, cutin, or there may be the presence of the trichomes. So here, like trichomes or different types of the trichomes, they are present on the leaves. Then the number and size of stomata per unit area on the leaves, and the water content of the mesophyll cells, as well as root shoot ratio. So we will discuss one by one. Okay. So first of all, the temperature. Okay. We know that the temperature is direct effects on the rate of the transpiration. So when there is a high temperature, the rate of transpiration is more. Okay. The rate of transpiration is more. Okay, the rate of transpiration is more, and at the low temperature the rate of transpiration is also low. Okay, so as a result, increase in temperature, increase in rate of the transpiration. But in cotton and onion, so in cotton and onion, what happens at the when the temperature exceeds than 30 degrees, When the temperature exceeding than 30 degrees centigrade, it causes the stomatal closing. It causes the stomatal closing. So these are the just two examples, cotton and onion. But in many of the plants, when the temperature exceeds than the 30 degrees centigrade or the more very high temperature, in that case it causes the stomatal closing. Okay, so the temperature is directly affects on the transpiration. High temperature, rate of transpiration is high. As the temperature increases, rate of transpiration increases. At low temperature, the rate of transpiration is also low. Okay, then the second factor, that is the light. Okay, light it directly indirectly it affects on the plant's life or on the transpiration. Okay, so light affects on the transpiration in two ways. Okay, so first of all, by increasing temperature. Light it affects by two ways. By increase first, that is by increasing the temperature, and second by causing the opening and closing of the stomach. Okay, so first of all we will discuss about the temperature. By increasing the temperature, so by increasing the temperature, okay, we know that the light increases the temperature. So by increasing and second, by opening and closing of the stomata. Second, by opening and closing of the stomata. Opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, so first of all, by increasing temperature, we know that as the light is directly it is related with the temperature. As there is a light intensity increases, the temperature increases. Okay, and therefore it is the direct factor is related with the temperature. So as the temperature increases, the the rate of transpiration is also increases. When there is a low light or diffuse light, the temperature is also low. Ultimately, the transpiration is also low. When there is a high light intensity, then there is a high temperature, then ultimately it increases the rate of transpiration. And when there is a very high light intensity, very high temperature, it causes the stomatal closing. Okay. So by increasing the temperature, light affects on the light affects the transpiration. Then opening and closing of the stomata. Okay. So light affects the opening and closing of stomata by increasing or decreasing the turgidity of guard cell. Turgidity of the guard cell. Okay. We know that as the turgidity of the guard cell increases, causes the opening of the stomata, and when there is the loss of turgidity, it causes the closing of the stomata. Okay. The stomata, they are normally open during the daylight. Stomata are they are open during the daytime. Okay, open during the daytime, and they are closed during the night. Closed during the night. Okay, however, in the camp plant, the camp plant means these are the xerophytic plant like Opaltia or the most of the cactus, etc. So these are, it shows the crassulacean acid metabolism. It shows the crassulacean acid metabolism. It, it is a crassulacean acid metabolism. Okay, so this CAM pathway, the plants which showing the CAM pathway, these are the xerophytic plants. Okay, and in these plants, the stomata is closed during the daytime. Okay, the stomata closed during the daytime. Okay, during the daytime, and open during the night time. Open during the night time. Okay, so some plants, even in the bright moon, म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस असं खूप चंद्राचा प्रकाश खूप असा एकदम लख्ख पडलेला असतो. So in the bright moon, the stomata they remain or they induces the opening of the stomata in some of the plants. It causes the opening of stomata. It causes the opening of stomata in some plants, like tuberose. Okay. So in some plants, in some plants, the stomata it may open during the midday. Okay, sorry, it may some plants the stomata may close. So in some plants, the stomata it may close during the midday. Okay, in some plants the stomata it may close during the midday if the plants they are wilted. If the plants are wilted. Wilted means what? The wilted means म्हणजे आपण त्याला कोमेजल्यासारखं म्हणतो. ओके, तर काही जे प्लांट्स आहेत तर या ठिकाणी दिवसाच्या मध्य ऐन दुपारी ज्याला आपण म्हणू तर मिड डे मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी जर विल्टेड प्लांट असतील तर स्टोमॅटा त्या ठिकाणी क्लोज होतो. आणि आपल्याला माहिती आहे इफ स्टोमॅटा इज क्लोज देन इट ऑल्सो रिड्युसेस द ट्रान्सपिरेशन और इट ऑल्सो स्टॉप. ओके, then the stomata in the cereal means the number of plants like wheat, rice, maize, jowar, etc. Okay, so in the cereals or in the cereal plants, okay, in the cereals or in the cereal plants, the stomata is the stomata is open only for 1 to 2 hours. Okay, it is only for 1 to 2 hours during the daytime. During daytime. Okay. So our cereals means, or we can say that in the monocot. Okay, most of the cereals they are the monocot. So the monocots or in the cereal plants, the stomata it remain open for 1 to 2 hours only during the daytime. Okay, even the quality of the light it also affects the opening and closing of the stomata. The quality of light quality of light it also affects the opening and closing of the stomata. Opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, so in the far red light म्हणजे या ठिकाणी रेड लाईट आणि त्याच्या वरचा जो स्पेक्ट्रम आहे that is a far red light. Okay, तर या ठिकाणी in the far red light the stomata is closed. Okay, the stomata is closed, but in ultraviolet light the stomata is closed. Oh, sorry, open maximum. The stomata is open and it is the maximum. The similarly opening of stomata is occur in presence of red and blue light. Red and blue light also the stomata is open. Okay, so light directly indirectly affects on the plant's life. Okay, so in far red light stomata closed, but in ultraviolet light or in red and blue light the stomata it is open, and we know that when the stomata is open the rate of transpiration is more. Okay, so the quality of light is also affects on the opening and closing of the stomata or ultimately on the transpiration. Okay, then the next factor, that is the atmospheric humidity. Atmospheric humidity. Okay, the atmospheric humidity means the amount of water vapors present in the air. Okay, so this atmospheric humidity is inversely proportional. So this humidity is inversely proportional to the transpiration. That means more the humidity, less the transpiration. more the humidity, less the transpiration. Okay, and if there is a dry air, when there is a less humidity or the dry air, the rate of transpiration is more. Rate of transpiration is more. Okay, so it is the atmospheric humidity which indirectly affects on the rate of the transpiration. It shows the relation that is the inversely proportional. So as the humidity increases, rate of transpiration decreases. As the humidity decreases, rate of transpiration increases. Okay, then the second factor, the next factor, that is the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure is also shows. Atmospheric pressure is also shows the in the relation of inversely proportional to the transpiration. So if the atmospheric pressure is higher, the rate of transpiration will be low. Okay, the atmospheric pressure is also inversely proportional to the rate of transpiration. Okay, rate of transpiration. That means when the pressure is high, when there is a higher the atmospheric pressure, the rate of transpiration is low. Low transpiration. Okay, the rate of transpiration is low, and it is because due to the increase in density of the air. Okay, but if the atmospheric pressure is low, the rate of transpiration is high. Okay, but if the atmospheric pressure is low, then the rate of transpiration is high. Okay, the low atmospheric pressure, the high rate of transpiration. Okay, and due to that, the relation is inversely proportional. So at the top of the hills, the rate of transpiration is more transpiration. Okay, and at the foot of hill, where the atmospheric pressure is more, there is the less transpiration. ओके, जसं आपण डोंगरावर वर वर जाऊ तसंच ॲटमॉस्फिअरिक प्रेशर कमी होत जातं आणि तसंच ट्रान्सपिरेशनचा रेट वाढत जातो आणि जेवढं आपण त्या ठिकाणी डोंगरांच्या पायथ्याशी येऊ त्या ठिकाणी तितकं त्या ठिकाणी ॲटमॉस्फिअरिक प्रेशर काय होतं, वाढत जातं आणि ट्रान्सपिरेशनचा रेट हा कमी होतो. ठीक आहे. द नेक्स्ट फॅक्टर दॅट इज द वॉटर कंटेंट ऑफ द सॉइल. Water content of the soil. The water content of the soil, when there is enough water present in the soil, then if the water is available, then the rate of absorption is more, and when there is absorption is more, the transpiration is also more. Transpiration is more. Okay. So when there is a less water available in the soil, ultimately there is the to protect that plant, the rate of transpiration is also reduces. Okay. Then the next factor, that is the air currents or wind. Okay. Next factor, next external factor, wind. Okay. So we know that when this wind, it removes the water vapors from vicinity of the plant. Vicinity of the plant means surrounding to the plant. म्हणजे प्लांटच्या जवळपास जे काही ह्युमिडिटी आहे ते वारा काय करतो, इट ब्लो अवे. ओके, सो इट रिमूव्ह द वॉटर. वाईड इट रिमूव्ह द वॉटर वेपर्स फ्रॉम द विसिनिटी ऑफ द प्लांट. सो ॲज अ रिझल्ट व्हॉट हॅपन, the humidity of the surrounding air near the plant it decreases. Okay, humidity काय होते, decrease होते, and when humidity decreases, the rate of transpiration increases. Okay, so we can say that when the high wind velocity, high wind velocity, the rate of transpiration is more. transpiration is more. Okay, high wind velocity, the rate of transpiration is more. But where there is a low wind velocity, the rate of transpiration is also less or moderate. Okay, when there is a less wind velocity, okay, so the rate of transpiration is also moderate or less, moderate or less. Okay, but when there is very high wind velocity, when there is a very high wind velocity, then in such condition what happen? The stomata get closed. Stomata closed. Stomata. Okay. Stomata get closed. Okay. And due to that closing of the stomata, the rate of transpiration decreases. Transpiration decreases. Okay. So the wind is most important for the rate of transpiration. High wind velocity transpiration is also more. Less wind velocity the transpiration is moderate or less. But when there is a very high wind velocity, the stomata gets closed and the transpiration rate of transpiration is decreases. Okay. Then the internal factors. Internal factors. Okay. So the first internal factor, that is size of the leaf. Size of the leaves. Okay. So we know that when the leaf size is more, rate of transpiration is also more. Okay. So the rate of transpiration is reduced by reducing the leaf size in the xerophytic plant. Okay. More the size of leaf, more transpiration. More transpiration. Okay. And therefore, to reduce the rate of transpiration in xerophytic plants, the leaf size is reduced. Leaf size is reduced here, okay, to reduce the water loss. Okay, to reduce the water loss, the xerophytic plants it shows the reduced leaf size. Okay, then the second factor, that is the coating. Coating. Okay, so there may be the different types of the coatings they present on the leaf. It may be the cuticle. So cutin substance, it is hydrophobic in nature when it is coated over the leaf, or there may be the wax. It is also impervious to water. Okay. So if there is a coating of cuticle or the wax, it reduces the transpiration. Okay, it reduces the transpiration. That means this coating is inversely proportional to the transpiration. This coating is inversely proportional to the transpiration. That means when the cuticles they are more thick, or where there is a more thick coating of the wax, it reduces the rate of transpiration. Okay, and when the cuticle is thin, there is a thin coating of the wax, then rate of transpiration is more. Okay, so this thickness of coating is inversely proportional to the rate of transpiration. Okay, so then the next factor, that is the trichomes. The trichomes, they are the hairs present on the leaves. Okay, so there may be the sunken stomata. Okay, there may be the sunken stomata in the nerium. Okay, that means there is a groove, and on this groove the stomata they are present in the nerium plant. Okay, and the trichomes they are present in these grooves. Okay, so that is known as the sunken stomata. Okay, so this sunken stomata It is the cuticle, the palisade tissue, okay, the spongy tissue, and that are the sunken stomata. Sunken stomata. It is in the deep groove. Okay. So it is in the example in the Miriam plant. Okay. So such trichomes, like trichomes or the sunken stomata, it also reduces the rate of transpiration. Okay. Then the next internal factor, that is the of number and the size of stomata, number and size of stomata per unit area. Per unit area. Okay. So the rate of transpiration is depend upon the stomata per unit area. Okay. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी ते स्टोमॅटा एक सपोज 1 mm बाय 1 mm चा जर आपण या ठिकाणी एक ब्लॉक घेतला तर या ठिकाणी ह्याच्यामध्ये त्या ठिकाणी किती स्टोमॅटा आहेत सो ते आपण काउंट करतो तर त्या ठिकाणी नंबर ऑफ स्टोमॅटा पर युनिट एरिया सो दॅट इज द the rate of transpiration is depends on the stomata per unit area. Okay, so the number of stomata it may be varies from 50 to 300 per square mm. Okay, म्हणजे 1 mm बाय 1 mm हे एका स्क्वेअर मध्ये 50 ते 300 50 to 300 इतके त्या ठिकाणी काय असतात स्टोमॅटा असतात. So if the number of stomata is more, the rate of transpiration is also more. In addition that, if the stomatal aperture is large, okay, then rate of transpiration is also more. Okay, so more the number of stomata, more transpiration. More stomata, more transpiration. Okay. The next internal factor, the water content of mesophyll cells. Okay. So the loss of water in the form of vapor during the transpiration is actually the loss of water from the mesophyll cells. Okay. The loss of water actually it is from the mesophyll cells. Okay. So when there is a less water in the mesophyll, the rate of transpiration is also reduced considerably. Okay. So less water in mesophyll, then the less transpiration. Less transpiration. Okay. Then the next internal factor, that is the root shoot ratio. Okay, root shoot ratio. So the rate of transpiration is increased with the increase in the root shoot ratio. Okay, the amount of roots they are present to the shoot. Okay, so how so what that is known as the ratio of the root. म्हणजे शूटच्या तुलनेमध्ये रूट किती प्रमाणात आहे त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो रूट शूट रेशिओ. So for example in the sorghum plant, it is in sorghum and corn. आता या ठिकाणी म्हणजे मका आणि sorghum ज्वार हे दोन प्लांट जर आपण या ठिकाणी पाहिलं so in the sorghum plant the root shoot ratio is more root shoot ratio. Okay, but in corn there is the less root shoot ratio. So in that case, the more transpiration is takes place in the sorghum than the corn. Okay, म्हणजे ज्वारीपेक्षा मकामध्ये रेट ऑफ ट्रान्सपिरेशन हा जास्त असतो. त्याचं कारण काय? The sorghum plant it shows the more root shoot ratio and the corn plant it shows the less root shoot ratio. Okay. So these are the different factors. The significance of the transpiration. Significance of the transpiration. Significance of the transpiration. So first significance, that is the circulation of water in the plant. Circulation of water in plant. Okay. So the process of transpiration, it develops a continuous water stream in the plant from root to the aerial part of the plant. Okay. And therefore it increases the rapid translocation of water throughout the plant body, or the upward movement of the water in the plant, and it helps the better growth of the plant as well as the photosynthesis of the plant. So the first importance, it is the circulation of water in the plant. Then the second, that is absorption of minerals and their distribution in the plant. Absorption of minerals and their distribution in plant. Okay. So transpiration is directly proportional to the rate of absorption. Okay. The transpiration is directly proportional to the absorption. That means as the transpiration increases, the rate of absorption is also increases. Okay. So along with the absorption, the water and minerals, they are also translocated to the plants. Okay. Or they are also absorbed along with the water. When there is a rate of transpiration increases, there is the increased absorption of the water. So this transpiration streams, it extends root to the leaves. Okay, म्हणजे हे जे सिस्टीम असेल कुठून कुठपर्यंत असते, रूट पासून leaves पर्यंत असते. Okay, and it brings the rapid transport of the minerals and the nutrients in the plant. Okay, so transpiration, it may also indirectly facilitate the ascent of sap. Okay, आपण पाहिलेलं आहे की ascent of sap सुद्धा त्या ठिकाणी ट्रान्सपिरेशन हा त्या ठिकाणी महत्त्वाचा फॅक्टर आहे. Then the next, regulating the temperature of the body. Regulating the temperature of the plant body. Okay, so transpiration plays a most important role in keeping the plant cool. Okay, so leaf is able to absorb 65% of the sunlight on it. Okay, so 65% of the sunlight, okay, is absorbed by the leaves. Okay, absorbed by the leaves. Okay, and the 10% get reflected. 10% get reflected. Then out of that, the 25% of the light, it enters in the mesophyll cells, enters in the mesophyll. Okay, the 25% of light, sunlight, it enters in the mesophyll cells. Okay, so this light, it convert into the heat energy. It convert into the heat energy. Okay, and due to that, it increases the temperature. Increases It increases the temperature of the mesophyll cells. Okay, and it will be dangerous. It will be the dangerous to plant. Okay, it will be the dangerous to the plant. But what happen? This heat get lost. The heat, it gets lost through water vapors. Through vapor. Okay, and when this water vapors, they get lost in the process of, or in the in the transpiration, then what happens? it causes the cooling of mesophyll cells. It causes the cooling of the mesophyll cell. So the transpiration is helps to keep the plant in cool condition. Okay. Then the next internal factor, it increases the concentration of solids. Okay. Transpiration increases concentration of solids and osmotic pressure. Okay. So when there is a high rate of transpiration, it causes increase in concentration of the solids. Okay. That means when the water is lost in the form of vapor, ultimately the water gets lost, so the concentration of the solids which are present in the mesophyll cell it increases. Okay. And due to that, the osmotic pressure is also increases. Okay. So it increases the sugar content. It increases the sugar content. Okay, it increases the sugar content of the plant, and due to that what happens, it improves quality of the food. So it improves quality of the food. Okay, and it causes the heavy dry matter or the higher dry matter of the fruit. Okay, so for this purpose the transpiration is also important. Then the transpiration is known as the necessary evil. There will be the short note on this. The say 5, the transpiration, why the transpiration as a necessary evil. Okay, evil म्हणजे दैत्य म्हणजे जिथे आपण नाश समजतो. ओके, पण तो कसा आहे नेसेसरी इव्हिल. ओके, सो व्हाय द ट्रान्सपिरेशन इज द नेसेसरी इव्हिल. So water it has the most important or it is the vital importance in the plant life. Okay, so when there is a large amount of water is lost in the process of the transpiration. Okay, when there is a large amount of loss of water when there is a very large, it may cause the wilting of the plant. Okay, so in this process when there is a excess loss of water in the process of transpiration, under such condition there is and when there is a deficient water supply. Okay, when there is a deficient water supply means the less water is available in the soil. Okay, the less water is available in the soil, and in such condition it becomes a serious problem. So it becomes a serious problem. It become a serious problem. So large loss of water and there is a less water available in the soil, so it causes a serious problem to the plant's life. It may causes the wilting as well as death of the plant. Okay, it may cause wilting or death of the plant, and therefore it is described as the necessary evil. Okay, but if there is no transpiration, so no absorption or the no other related thing, that is no circulation, no absorption of water and minerals, no distribution of water minerals, there is no regulation of temperature, no increase in concentration. So all these factors it may also get in problem, or ultimately the life of the plant is also get in a problem. Okay, so it is the evil, but then also the transpiration is necessary. Okay, so today we have discussed about the factors affecting the rate of transpiration. The external factors, internal factors. External factors: temperature, light, atmospheric humidity, atmospheric pressure, water content of the soil, and the air currents. Then internal factors, size of the leaves, coating or cuticle, wax coating or trichomes, etc. Then number and size of the stomata per unit area, water content of the mesophyll cells and the root shoot ratio. The significance of the transpiration, it is necessary for the circulation of water, for absorption of minerals and their distribution in the plant, for regulating the temperature of the plant, as well as to increase the concentration of solutes and the osmotic pressure. So it is known as the necessary effluent. Okay, so we will stop here. Thank you very much.